welcome back to my channel. My name is Juditha, and on this channel we talk about your dreams, your goals, your fears, your insecurities, your thoughts, your beliefs. We talk about all those things that matter when you're trying to create your dream life. If this sounds like something that you're into, make sure that you like and you subscribe to my channel. Let's get into today's topic. We are going to talk about the number one thing that's keeping you stuck, okay? The thing that is keeping you where you are year after year after year. Your comfort zone, okay? How are you going to get out of your comfort zone? Why you want to get out of it, and how it's possibly just been keeping you stuck all this time. So we're going to look at all that, and I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you help yourself, okay? I'm going to give you all the tips that I've used to step out of my comfort zone and how it's benefited me, okay? When it comes to your comfort zone, the first thing I want to say is like everything that you want is going to be right outside of your comfort zone. Like everything that you dream about, all the things that you pray for, most likely they're outside of your comfort zone, and that's why you don't have them yet. So your comfort zone really is just what you're accustomed to. It's the life that you're accustomed to. It's the habits that you're accustomed to. It's the people that you're accustomed to. That's what your comfort zone is. And your life doesn't even have to feel like good. Like you can have a comfort zone and it's just filled with negative things, like people who don't treat you right, a job you don't like, habits that don't really further you. The first thing that you want to remember about your comfort zone is that they're just never as scary as they look. Trying the thing, doing the thing, taking the risk, it's never as scary as it looks. And I know that from experience. Like there's been times when I'm like having social anxiety, like I do not want to be a part of like a bigger event. I don't want to be in front of strangers. I don't want to do certain things because I'm fearing like how I'm going to be perceived, or I'm just overthinking the whole thing. And then once I do it, like once I get it over with, like it's so much fun. Like I ended up meeting people that I love. I ended up having an experience that I would have missed out on if I did not like take myself out of my comfort zone, okay? So it's never as scary as it looks, and that's something you learn only as you step out of your comfort zone. So you're never going to be able to feel that feeling of, you know what? This wasn't actually that hard until you give yourself the grace of stepping into the unknown and stepping into the uncertainty. So ask yourself, like, what are you not doing out of fear? Because that is the number one thing that is keeping you where you are. Either you fear not knowing what to do, or you fear not having enough. You fear that it won't work out. You fear that you won't have enough time, or that you've already let too much time pass. Like, what are you not doing because you have fear? Sometimes you don't even notice that you're actually just in your comfort zone. You don't even notice that's what the problem is. You're just so used to being this person right here. You're so used to doing the things that you've done every day. You're so used to being around the people that you've been around, like that you don't even notice that you're not happy for real. Like you don't like where you are. You don't like the people you're around. You're just used to it. You just become accustomed to a certain type of life that you don't even see past what you have right now. So that's how stuck your comfort zone can really keep you. And it's not until you leave it that you look back and you're like, damn, why did I stay there for so long? Like, why did I stay in that position for so long when all I had to do was this thing? When all I had to do was stretch myself, okay? So your comfort zone will come disguised as many things, okay? One of the things it could come disguised as is you not feeling like it's the right time, okay? That is like number one thing that might come up when it comes to your comfort zone. Is like you might never feel like now is the right time. It might always feel like I have to do this, or I don't have enough of that, or I have to wait until this, or and I want you to know that there is a fine line between like, yeah, really there could be a better time to do this. But then there's also that other side to it where it's like you have just never been here before. And because you've never been here before, you actually don't even know what the right time feels like. And sometimes you just have to get started. You just have to do the thing. And it's just so much easier for most of us to stay where we are. Like it's so much easier to come up with an excuse as to why now is not the right time. Okay? I realize that it doesn't matter how long I wait. The lessons that I need to learn to become like a professional in this field, to become like someone who does this, someone who is 100% confident in this, like the only way I get to that point is by doing it. It does not matter if I started 2 years ago, if I start today. It does not matter. I still have to go through the same phase. I still have to go through failing sometimes. I still have to go through the roller coaster of emotions, the fear, the doubt. Like I did not evade any of those things by waiting longer. Okay, so keep that in mind, because you might think that if you wait a little longer, if you just wait until you do this thing, if you just wait until you have these people, like, you might think that things would be easier. And it might not. It might not. It could be, but it might not. So when it comes to timing, be very like intuitive about it. Like, why do I feel like now isn't the right time? Is it really because it just isn't? Like, I can tell it just isn't. I won't be able to do these things. Or is it because I fear not being able to stretch myself to figure it out? Like, I fear not being able to stretch myself to find the time, or to find the money, or to find the people that can help me. So you have to be the one to discern what it really is. If it's really that the timing isn't right, or is it just your comfort isn't right? Another thing is, like, when it comes to investing in yourself, like investing in your knowledge and your skills and the things that you want to do, a lot of us, like, we are not willing to do that. And that is something that definitely separates people that are successful, like when it comes to money, like have money and have businesses that are flourishing, versus people that have like a poverty mindset and who aren't doing the things that they want to do. Is that those people who are doing big things, they always invest in themselves. They find the time, they find the money, they get out of their comfort zone and they stretch themselves. Like, I was just talking to a friend the other day, and she was telling me how she had to come up with $3,000, and she didn't know she could do it until she did it. Like, she did not know. Like, she literally had to stretch herself. Yeah, it wasn't the most uncomfortable time for her, and she didn't love the fact that she had to be in that mode of like figuring it out. But at the end of the day, guess what? Like, she learned something about herself. She learned that when push comes to shove, she will find the money. Like, she will do whatever it takes. She has that capacity, she has that ability within her to come up with that money. Okay? And it's the same for you. Sometimes you won't even know what's inside of you until you are pushed to that point, until you have no other choice. And sometimes that's how you have to look at your goals. Like, you have to be so committed, commit to it as if there's no other choice. Like, there's nothing else for me. I'm so committed to this thing. I know this thing is meant for me. I am willing to figure it out. I am literally willing to stretch myself to find the money, to find the time, because this is important to me. And a few years from now, when I look back, the time that I spent maybe a little bit in hustle mode or in monk mode or just trying to like get my shit together, like that time spent will not be wasted 2 years from now, when I'm looking back and I'm sitting in the house I want, sitting in the car I want, because I put that work in. Okay, so get out of your comfort zone and figure it out. Stretch yourself. Okay, do those things, learn what those things are. That's another thing. You have to invest in your knowledge. You only know what you know. Okay, like, your brain is always going to pull from what you already know or what you've already experienced. That's one thing that you have to get past, that is also keeping you in your comfort zone. You feeling like you don't know how, but really it's just easier to stay in the realm of I don't know how, because it's safer. You don't take risks when you don't know how. You don't try to figure out where the money is going to come from when you don't know how. You just do things differently when you stay in I don't know how. Okay, so it's up to you to literally say, you know what, I do not know how right now, but I am committed to figuring out how. I am committed to this thing, because what is the other option? The other option is that I'm not committed. I don't work towards these things. I don't invest in myself. I don't learn more. Like, that is the other side of what you're missing out on when you stay in I don't know how. When you stay in the comfort of your uncertainty instead of embracing the uncertainty and work and walking forward regardless, going forward regardless, doing what you have to do regardless, okay? Another thing that you want to make sure that you get out of your comfort zone to do is investing in your mental health. You might not feel like you have the time to work out. You might not feel like you have the time to read a book. You might not feel like you have the time to sit down and do some real like journaling, really getting to the bottom of who you are and why you act the way you act. But all of that is just a matter of you stepping out of what you're used to, okay? Stepping out of the comfort zone of never digging deep into who you really are. So you have to give yourself that time, make that time, okay? You might not always want to do the thing, but sometimes the things that you don't feel like doing because the gratification for it is more long term than short term, sometimes those are the very things that you need to push you out of your comfort zone. So spend that time journaling, spend that time walking, running, exercising. Like all those things have a big effect on your mental health. So step out of your comfort zone and start to build new habits when it comes to, learning something new or working out, doing the hard thing, because working out, it seems like it's just for your body, but it's so much more mental than you would even think, because you have to have the mental capacity to have the discipline to do it consistently, first of all. Then you have to have the capacity to push yourself through the workout when it's hard. You have to have the capacity to remember to stretch before, stretch after. Like working out just kind of sets you up to be a better person overall, because all these little skills and things that you have to put into becoming someone who works out consistently, like you can transfer those things to your business. And I do that all the time. Like when I want to give up, when I'm working out, I'm doing a squat, whatever, and I'm feeling tired, I just tell myself, like, you can do hard things. You can do hard things. And then guess what? After I do the hard thing, I feel good. And then I transfer that same type of feeling, like that same psychological response into my business. When I feel like something is hard, when I feel like, oh my God, I can't figure this out right now, I tell myself, you know what? You can do the hard things. You can do it. Okay. And then I do it. And then I feel good. So it is that simple, or at least it can be that simple, okay? Just remember that your brain will keep you in the realm of what's familiar until you decide that you are sick of it. Like until you get tired of your own shit and you no longer want to be in what's familiar, your brain will continue to just listen to what you want. Your brain is not going to do the uncomfortable thing for you. Your brain is not going to decide, you know what? I don't like this life anymore. We have to do something different. Like we have to step out of our comfort zone. Your brain is not going to do that because it's comfortable being this person right here. It's comfortable in what is known. It's comfortable because it knows that when you wake up in the morning, you do this, and then you do this. And when you get off work, you do this, and you do this. Your brain is used to all that. And when you try to shake things up, like when you say, I'm actually going to get up earlier and I'm going to work out, like your brain is going to tell you why get up so early? Like why does this matter? Like you're going to literally question yourself and question why it matters. And the best thing you can do is make sure that you have an answer. When your brain comes up with the questions like, why do I have to do this? Answer it. Like, why do you have to work out? Like, what do you have to lose by skipping this workout today? Like, what do you have to lose by not enforcing and reinforcing the consistency that you say that you want to have, the discipline that you say you want to have? Like, what is on the line if you don't get out of your comfort zone, if you don't get out of what's familiar? Don't allow where you are, like the comfort of it, the homeness of it, like don't allow that to keep you somewhere where you don't belong. Because eventually you will come to a point where you realize this life is not fulfilling me. Like I'm dead ass not even doing everything that I want to do. Like I'm really just sitting here in my comfort zone. I've accepted a job that I'm just comfortable with. I've accepted a life that I'm just comfortable with. When really, like deep down, I wish I could have so much more. Like those dreams are given to you for a reason, okay? The fact that you want it is proof that you can have it, okay? Desires are never placed within you for no reason. Like they're not just there to tease you. They're literally there to show you the possibilities of the realities that you could create if you get out of your comfort zone, and you get to choose. You get to look at it and you get to say, "Damn, the fact that I'm even dreaming about this means that I can have it." So, how much am I willing to step out of what I know, out of my comfort zone to be able to accomplish this thing? Because I promise you, every time I've ever taken a step out of my comfort zone, it's been worth it. Like I have been rewarded, okay? I'll give y'all an example. Like on Instagram, I had the fear of like going live for the longest, okay? Like I don't know what it is. It's just like being live, and girl, I don't know. I really don't know. Like most of the time, the things that we fear is so irrational. So I can't even tell you like why that fear felt so real to me to just get on live. But finally I was encouraged by someone I would consider to be a mentor. Like she was like, just get on it, do it right now. And she like made me get on live. And right after that live, someone who I was speaking to on that live reached out to me directly to work with me one-on-one. Like if I did not do that live that night, I would not have had a new client. And it's all because I stepped out of my comfort zone. So you see what I'm saying? Everything that you want is right here. Your comfort zone is here, and everything that you want is here, okay? So it's up to you. decide that you want it bad enough to feel the fear. Like, decide that it's worth it if some people laugh, if sometimes you fail, you fall down. Decide if it's worth it. If you know that 2 years from now, everything that you're dreaming about, everything that you put on that vision board, if you know that there's a possibility those things can come to life, and all you have to do, all you have to be willing to give up is your comfort zone, like, why wouldn't you do it? So what I want to challenge you to do to step out of your comfort zone is every week or every month, whichever one you want, try to do something that is outside of your comfort zone. It doesn't matter how small it is. Like, if you usually don't work out, maybe that is out of your comfort zone. Make it a thing to do that. Do that consistently. If you don't like to go out and meet people, maybe that's your thing. Go out and meet somebody new. Go out to a party, like go out to a social event, a networking event. Like, just choose one thing every month and just do it. Because then you're going to teach yourself that, damn, this actually does not kill me. Like, every time I step out of my comfort zone, I never die. Like, I actually learn something, I grow from it, I meet people. Like, there's always something to gain from getting outside of what I'm so familiar with, okay? And the only way that you really, really get used to embracing that uncertainty and, used to feeling the fear and being okay with it is by doing it, okay? Like, I can sit here and I can give you instructions all day, every day on how to do it, but you only really know once you do it. You only really know once you're the one taking the steps to do it. And you're the one feeling all the feelings. And then you're the one who gets to experience at the end of it how everything is okay and how you only grew because of it. You have to manage your mind, because your mind will try to convince you out of things. It's so tricky because you might not even notice it. You might think that the excuses that you're giving yourself, they make sense to you and they feel real, and they feel like, no, but this actually makes sense, and I don't need to do this. But that is just your mind. In reality, you have to look at what are the people doing who are successful, right? What are they doing? Because obviously they have figured something out. And I'll tell you right now what it is. I've listened to so many biographies. Like, I love learning about what it takes to be successful. Side note, I also don't feel like success looks like one thing, just to make that clear. I feel like success definitely is defined by you, it's subjective. So it gets to look like whatever you want it to look like. For me, when I say success and when I say successful people, I'm describing what I think success is and what it looks like for me. And for me, success is having time freedom. It's having an abundance of money to do whatever I want with. It's having time, unlimited time with my family. It's being able to travel when I want. It's not being tied down to one location. Like, that to me is what success is. It's really, really being happy. It's getting paid to do what I love. Like, that is what success is, and that's what it looks like to me. And that's my goal. So when I'm describing successful people, I'm describing people who are doing things that I want to do, who are traveling the world, who are using their voices to change how people think and what they believe and how they live. Like, these are all the things that I would love to do. So when I look at what these people did to get to where they are, the first thing I learned is that they all had to deal with fear. Like, they all at some point might not have had money. They might not have even had a home. Like, one of my coaches, one of my mentors, she literally talks about all the time how she had like 2 spoons in her house. She would sell furniture. She would just sell whatever she needed because she was investing in herself. Like, she got her own coach, even though she could barely afford silverware, because she understood the value of stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something you've never done before, which was to invest in herself and invest in other people who could then pour knowledge into her, right? So you have to be willing to do things like that. So the fear, it might never go away. You have to be willing to do it regardless, okay? Another thing that I've learned from studying those people is that you cannot be so concerned with the timing of things. I think it's absolutely a good idea to have goals and have milestones and things that you want to achieve by a certain time, but you cannot make it mean anything when you don't hit that goal. Like, if you want to make X amount of money this month, or meet X amount of people, and you don't make that goal, go within and maybe ask yourself, like, what could I have done better? What could I have could I have put myself out there in another way? Is there more that I could be doing? Like, look within for the answer and never think that something has gone wrong here, because the universe is always working with you. It's always working for you. So any delays, I choose to see any delays in my journey as preparation. You know, the delays can be seen as preparation or prevention. Maybe I'm being prevented from doing something that I think I want that I actually don't. Or maybe there's a delay because I need to learn something. The best thing you can do is just feed your brain the knowledge it needs to give you the answer you need. Okay, that is the best thing you can do. So continue to just study what it really takes to be success, whatever that looks like. Look for the people who define that for you. Look for the people who are literally living the life that you want to live, and figure out, reverse engineer their process. Like, what did they have to do? What did they go through? Because I'm telling you, there is no success without getting out of your comfort zone. And to me, it doesn't even matter what you define success as when I say this statement. I just feel like it's just one of the universal truths. Like, you have to be willing to get outside of your comfort zone. Okay? Could you imagine like how uncomfortable artists have to be to like put their art out there? Can you imagine how uncomfortable like singers, rappers, like, do you know how uncomfortable it might be? It must be to be that type of artist, and in the beginning nobody's really believing in you. Shit, you probably barely believing in yourself. So could you imagine the strength it takes to get out of your comfort zone to do something like that? Like, there's different people who I'm sure that you know of, who you love to listen to. Go back and look at their beginnings. Like, look at how they had to believe in themselves. They had to be a little crazy. Like, they had to believe in themselves before they can see it. Okay, there's so many rappers around us, and we joke and we call them SoundCloud rappers, but they probably had to start on SoundCloud in order to make it to wherever they are now, right? There's so much that you have to come up against when you are creating your dream life. Like, when you are creating something that is not ordinary, you know. And when I say ordinary, I mean that maybe a lot of the people around you aren't living that life. And that's the case for a lot of us, because if you had more people showing you the example of how great life can be and how big you can dream and how easy it could be to have the life that you want exactly as you want it, like, if you had more people doing that, then you would feel more comfortable stepping out of your comfort zone. You would have those examples. There's not a lot of people who are willing to step out of their comfort zone. Like, there's not a lot of people who are willing to face fear time and time again. Like, who's willing to have that patience in between being and becoming. Like, there's just not a lot of people who are willing to invest that energy in themselves. And that's why only a few of us make it. That's why only a few of us are living the dreams that we want to live. Like, that's why. So ask yourself, okay? I'm going to leave you with this. What are you not doing out of fear? What are you doing that is keeping you in your comfort zone? Like, how could you possibly be limiting yourself because you think you don't have enough of this or enough of that, or it's not the right time? Like, what in your life do you know deep down that you want to be doing, but so far you've seen yourself time and time after again make an excuse for, and that's why you haven't started? Really look at that and answer that question. I want you to take out your journal and answer that question for yourself, because once you know and once you are aware that, damn, I've literally just been in my comfort zone, like, this isn't even a real excuse. If I really wanted to, I could figure this out. Like, once you write it down and you see it, there's just no excuse. The next thing is to invest in yourself. Invest in someone who can help you. Invest the time, like, stretch yourself to figure it out, okay? Because that's what successful people do, okay? They stretch themselves, they get out of their comfort zone, and they embrace the uncertainty of it all, okay? Now that is it for today's video. I hope you bloomed today, because I know I did, and I will see you guys on the next one.